I am not afraid of the Black community. Now, why I'm saying that? I was talking to my friend Vic last night, my best friend Vic, and we were talking about several subjects, as we always do. There's never a dull moment with Vic. Shout out to you, Vic. His podcast is called Let Me Tell You a Story. It's under Alfric Williams. But we were talking, and we realized something. Vic was the first one to really realize it, and then I offered the case study and experience of being it. But we realized that, the Black community is really hard on gays. Not so much lesbians, because Black men see them as men or boys, but really hard on effeminate men. Because for some reason, the Black man believes that if you are an effeminate, Black, gay, cross-dressing man, girly boy, lady boy, you're not a man. And that you can't handle certain responsibilities and basically live up to what manhood is. So allow me to go a little deeper. I was outside the other day and I was talking to one of my neighbors, and I felt he was extremely misogynistic. He is Spanish, of Latin descent. And I felt that he was extremely Latin. Of course he was Latin. He was extremely Latin, but extremely misogynistic in his beliefs of roles and gender. And, he talked about how he wants to work while his wife stays home and, tends to the kids, et cetera, et cetera. Unfortunately, he didn't marry another Latin woman brought up in the same kind of beliefs as he did. He married a Caucasian woman, a woman whom is very ambitious and very career driven. She works in finance. She doesn't want to stay home. But that's their business. That's not what I'm talking about. What this man said to me, though, was that, basically Black and Latin men kind of live the same kind of lives on some levels in some degrees. But what he said to me was, if you're a man and you have obligations, you'll cut off your leg to support your family. You'll cut off your leg to make sure your children eat. You'll cut off your leg to get the bacon on the table and get the job done. And I had to stop him in his tracks. I said, no, I'm not going to cut off my leg, because no one is worth my leg, not even my family. So that didn't get his attention. But what got his attention is I said to him, listen, I don't have to cut off my leg every day to support my family or my family, my kids, et cetera, et cetera. But every single day I put on a dress. Every single day I put on a wig. Every single day I put on makeup and adorn myself as an open transvestite, something that is very secretive usually. Men, there are groups that get together in like London and things like that of cross-dressers, but usually cross-dressing is a secretive thing. You've got a lot of men that like to wear women's panties underneath their suits. This is not weird. It's just what they like. Same here. I'm not weird. It's just what I like. And I happen to have a beautiful face and body. So I make a very beautiful transvestite. But he looked at me because I said to him, sweetheart, I put on a dress every day to feed my family. I put on a wig every day to feed my family. I adorn myself with makeup and wigs to feed my family. And I had to let him know that just because you have a specific role as a provider does not make you a man. That's not what makes you a man. There are a lot of things in our culture that say you're a man if you do them, but they don't make you a man. The only thing that makes you a man is genetic material. That's it. Who you are, what you do, the character of who you are, that comes from somewhere deeper inside. That determines what kind of man you will be. And I went on to tell him that, being a man is not to enslave people you feel are weaker than you or feminine people, because it's not just women anymore. Feminine people. See, if I'm with someone, it's not about control. And that's what misogyny is about, control and suppression. But I let him know, I said, listen, I would never be with someone, I was speaking of his wife, I would never be with someone and try to control them and find out that 20 years later, they were never happy with me. I would never do that to a person. I also said I would not, if I was with someone, every happiness would be my only goal, even though I am not responsible for making them happy. Yeah, this is a grown-up conversation. There's a lot being said here, so pay attention. I'm not responsible for my partner's happiness. No, I want them to be happy. But if I can contribute and make it easier for them to obtain their happiness, then that's what I'm going to do, though I'm not responsible for making them happy. They are responsible for making themselves happy. So that was the conversation. And then I spoke to my buddy Vic, my best friend Vic, and something got said last night that was very, very true. Did you know that effeminate gay black men are closeted too? Did you know that even as an effeminate gay black young man, I was closeted? Now, mind you, understand this. Everyone around me knew I was effeminate. They suspected that I was gay. But guess who didn't know that he was gay? Even though he grew up and was effeminate and played with dolls and screamed very high and sang very high. Guess who didn't know he was gay? Me. Kids called me a faggot all my life. Guess who didn't know he was a faggot? Me. Guess who didn't find out? Now, mind you, closeted. So get this. Still played around with boys. Still was attracted to them 100% since middle school, all through high school and into college. But still not open, not free, and hiding myself from others, but more importantly, myself. And a lot of people will say, well, how could you hide? You were feminine. You were gay. You switched. You promenaded when you walked. Like, how could you not know? I didn't fucking know. I didn't fucking know. All I knew was my behavior was my behavior. And it hurt me every single time some man made fun of me in church. Yes, it hurt me. But every time I got punched in the face as a youngster for being gay and called a faggot and called a sissy and, all of those things, it made me very upset because to me, I wasn't those things. I was just me. And see, people don't understand that that's a real thing. I was just me. I didn't know anything about a label. I didn't know anything about, a position, what I had to play. And I didn't know anything about that. I was just a kid trying to grow up.